Well, hello there, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're safe and well. In this video, I'm going to be investigating whether the quality and consistency and even the accuracy of JSB Exact pellets has declined in recent years. So let's roll the title, shall we? So what's this one all about then? Well, if you've spent any time on the internet, on airgun forums or any Facebook groups, you're probably aware that a common topic comes up fairly frequently. People make comments on JSB Exact pellets saying, they're not as good as they used to be. Now, the other day I was clearing out my pellet cupboard, trying to sort everything out and tidy it up, which is unusual, as you probably imagine. And I just happened to notice that I've got a fair selection of tins of JSB pellets, either that I've bought and haven't used yet, or that people have given me, or I've bought off of other people. And I noticed I've got a bit of a range of years. So I've got 5 tins of JSB Exact pellets here. The oldest is from 2015, and then I've got that's a partly used tin, an open tin. Then I've got a brand new tin that hasn't been open of 2017, brand new tin 2021, brand new tin 2022, and an open tin that I've nearly used up, which is the youngest of the lot, 2023. So what I thought I'd do, just for my own amusement really and interest, is to make a comparison of these pellets and see what the changes are, if any, and if there is any truth in the rumour that they're not as good as they used to be. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that the JSB Exact 4.52, these are all 4.52 head size, by the way, is my go-to pellet. And personally, I haven't had any issues with quality or significant damage in the tins or noticeable drop in performance. And I find, they're my go-to pellet because I don't think I've got a rifle that doesn't shoot reasonably well with them. I mean, okay, some of the rifles are slightly more accurate with a different pellet, but none of them shoot this pellet particularly badly, and like resemble a shotgun in the groups and anything. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a visual inspection of the pellets in the tin, and I'll do some close-up pictures to show you of any differences. I don't know what to expect with this, whether there are differences in the shape. I do suspect that we're going to find a difference in the, I don't know what you call it, but the hole inside the skirt underneath. I think they're going to be some changes in design there. Then we're going to take some samples, say weigh a group of pellets and work out the average weight, and then look at a sample of say 10 or 20. I'm not going to take too big a group because I don't want to sit for hours with my scales, and see what the high and low and the average is from there, so that we can look at the weights and how they compare tin to tin. And then finally what we're going to do is I'm going to shoot some groups from the rifle. Want to make it a little bit more sort of challenging, whereas I normally shoot groups at 25 yards. I think in this instance, to try and allow the groups to open up a bit more, I'll shoot at 35 yards. I'll be shooting 3-shot groups, not a totally scientific analysis or investigation. It's going to be, obviously it's going to be a little bit subjective, but just we'll just see actually what we come out with at the end, and see if there is any evidence in what I do to show that there's any difference. Be quite interesting. So there we go, that's what we're going to do. First up then is I'm going to do visual examination of the pellets. Let's start with inspection then. I'm not intending to show you me inspecting all the tins, but I thought I'd start with one of the newer tins because they're the ones that are allegedly, not as good as they used to be. So as you can see here, we've got 2022 4.52s, and it's a sealed tin. So we'll take the seal off and have a look on, see if we can see initially. You can see there that nothing is jumping out at me as regards any rogue pellets in there, different types of pellets, or any squashed or damaged skirts. That all looks good. Let's empty that out. Looking at the tin then, no swarf or debris in the tin. That all looks very clean. I'm going to spread them out. And again, just a sort of quick inspection. If you can see a lot of damaged pellets in there, then you've got better eyesight than me. They all look pretty good quality, to be honest, and you can see from the white cloth surface that I've put them on that there's no dirt or little scraps of lead or anything. So I would say that certainly that tin passes muster. So I'm going to put them back in the tin and check the rest. So I've done a visual examination of the contents of all 5 tins of pellets, and I can say that I found absolutely no difference between them. All of the pellet tins were clean with no swarf or detritus in there, and I couldn't find any evidence of significantly deformed pellets. I mean, if I went through each pellet one by one, I might find some minor damage to skirts, but there was no sort of obvious damage to the skirts, and I didn't find any sort of different type of pellets that shouldn't have been in the tins. So obviously over that lifespan then, or that age span, no change there. So then, taking a closer look at the pellets themselves, here you can see the pellets all side by side. I did do a very inaccurate check of the height of the pellets with some digital calipers, taking a selection of pellets from each tin, and the results that I got with my calipers from tin to tin were fairly consistent. So going through them then, the 2015 pellets, they came out consistently at 6.4 millimeters. The 2017 and the 2022 both came out exactly the same at just under 6 millimeters. They were sort of 1.58, 1.59, so I'll say that they're 6 millimeters. The 2021s came out at 6.2 consistently, and the 2023s came out at 6.1. So there are some, even though that's only a small measurement, there are some significant differences in the height or the length of the pellet, whatever you call it, that you won't notice from the photo. But the thing that stuck out for the most part is looking at the cavity from the back of the skirt inwards. I've got some video here where you can't really see from the video, but close examination with sort of like perhaps a magnifying glass and a light, I've drawn a little diagram to show the differences. So you can see here from the 2015, even though the inside of the pellet is the same sort of shape as the 17, the 21 and the 22, it was significantly deeper. Now I measured it with a caliper probe, and you're looking at almost, well, 3/4 of a millimeter deeper in that cavity in the 2015 pellets than the 2017 to 2022, which were all the same. And then when we get to the 2023, the shape completely changes. You basically got, you can see the sloping shoulders, and then it drops into a hole with straight sides. Now, I couldn't get my caliper probe in there to measure the depth, but visually it doesn't seem that it's any deeper than the 2015, and you know, eyeballing it, it looks like it might actually be a little bit shallower, so possibly around sort of 2.5 millimeters or somewhere around there, but I can't say for certain. So definitely significant changes then in the sort of inside internal makeup of the pellet shape. Here are the results of the weigh-in then. I did take 100 pellets from each tin and weigh them on my kitchen scales, and each sample came out at 55 grams, so, and they were all the same, so didn't really learn anything from there. Just that you know, there was nothing erratic in the results, and we got the results that we should have expected there. From those 100 pellets, I took 20 pellets and weighed them on my jewellery scales. Now, before we go on, I know some people are going to say that, you know, I've had comments before about these scales and how they're pretty worthless and anything, but at the end of the day, a lot of people use these. Okay, they might not be accurate down to 2 decimal points, but they do give you a useful comparison between pellets. So that's what we're going to use them for here. Okay, it may not be perfectly accurate to 2 decimal points, but it just gives us a rough and ready comparison. So that's what we're going to deal with this as, a pretty rough comparison. So you can see I took 20 pellets from each of the 100 samples, 100 pellet samples from each tin, and weighed them and put them on this spreadsheet. So these are all the individual results then, and what we're really interested in is these results down the bottom here. So you can see I've put in some formulas to work out a few things. So first off, we've got the average weight of each of those 20 pellet groupings. Now what's interesting here is the average is pretty consistent here: 8.41, 8.4, 8.42, 8.46, 8.42. Now considering on the tin these are supposed to be 8.44, I think that that's quite an interesting result, that we've got you know, an average weight that does fit, you know, bearing in mind, you know, when I mentioned the accuracy of the scales, I think that's quite an interesting result, that the average weight of the pellets in the tins is fairly consistent across the board. Then we're looking at the highest weight pellet in the sample and the lowest weight pellet in the sample, and then use those to calculate the spread. Now one thing that you'll notice is that, you know, as we go up in date, the earlier pellets, 2015 has got the smallest spread and 2023 has got the widest spread. So this would suggest that as time's gone on, you've got a greater range of pellet weights within a tin, and if you look at this here, you can see that the highest weight definitely goes up as, you know, as we go on with time, and the lowest weight gets a little bit lower as we go along with time as well. So the older pellets had a more narrow spread, so, you know, I mean, it's difficult to say the reasoning behind that. Could it be, you know, better quality control in the past? I don't know, but it's quite interesting that you can see that the weight spread does increase, you know, quite significantly up until the 2023 sample, and then we can look at the standard deviation as well, which obviously we'd expect that to increase as well the same way. So yeah, something interesting there to sort of point out. Average weight stayed the same, but the pellet weight spread has increased. So that's something to bear in mind. Here we are then out in the garden ready to do the accuracy test. For the accuracy test I'm going to be using the Daystate Wolverine, and as you can see I've got the NV400, one leaf NV400 on top. Going to use that so I can record the shots through the scope. I'm going to be doing 5 3-shot groups from each tin of pellets, and after each tin I'm going to refill the cylinder back up to 200 bars. We're out at 35 yards and got the target down on my backstop, so let's have a go and see how we get on, shall we? We're starting with the 2015 pellets on the top row then. Before we continue, I just noticed an anomaly in the video footage when watching it back. It looks from the pictures like I'm aiming to the right of the ball on the targets. I think there's a misalignment between the way that the crosshairs is shown on the video and what I saw through the eyepiece. So just try and ignore the reticle. Then we're on to the third row, the 2021s. Last set, 2023. Well, that's all the shooting done then. I redid the what was it, the first lot, the 2015s. As you can see, the groupings are very unreliable, and I thought, oh, perhaps I hadn't got warmed up because the other rows were a little bit better. So I just did a sixth row, and shot the 2015s again, just in case it was me, my poor shooting. And as you can see, a couple of groups really good, but on the whole, sort of like inconsistent. So anyway, we'll grab the target and we'll analyse it and see if we can come to any conclusions from it. Okay, let's have a look at this target then, row by row. Just to remind you, on this target, these outside circles are 20mm and the bullseyes are 5mm. I've had to make a new group sizer up because I lost the last one, so I put a bit of string on this one so I don't lose it. But just so you can see that this is accurate, the outside edge of these circles, there you go, the outside of edge is that is 10mm, and then we've got 15, 20, 25. But looking at this target, I was considering using this new phone app that I've been using to size up the groups. But looking at the target, I really don't think I have to. I shot out to 35 yards because I thought it would open up the groups, but it didn't really open them up as much as I thought. So let's have a look at what we've got then. I mean, first off, I shot that first line, the 2015 pellets, and I didn't think it was very good looking at it through the scope. So I actually shot it again after I finished the test to see whether it was me, whether I hadn't warmed up or not, and I'll show you that line in a minute. But let's go through the 2015 then. If we go sort of, you can see there, look, 10mm. We've got a flyer there, but that's easily 15mm at 35 yards. This one, center to center, 10mm, maybe 11mm. Definitely, well, what size is that? That's 3 pellets through that hole. And then back to here, easily goes inside 15mm. So so that wasn't too bad. Let's move up to the next line, to the 2017 pellets. Again, we've got a 10mm group there, near enough 10mm there, 10mm, 10mm, and then this is 3 pellets there in 10mm. This shot here, if you watch the video, this is the shot from the third shot from this target. I actually shot the wrong target. So we'll remember where that pellet hole is, which is just down on the edge here, and then we can measure that group. So as you can see, the 2017, I suspect, looking at that, slightly better than the 2015. Let's move up to the 2021. Now these ones, this is probably the worst set of groupings on the target, actually. These really sort of opened up. So we're going to have to use the 15mm sizer for this. So it's 15mm there, 15mm there, 15, maybe 16mm center to center. That one just about fits in. And then if we look at that hole there and imagine that that's at that point there, we can, yeah, probably another 10mm group. So this one's opened out a bit more than the first two. Let's move up to the 2022. So we'll look here, easily less than 10mm center to center, 3 shots inside 10mm, inside 10mm, inside 10mm, inside. So far I would suggest that the 2022 pellets are the best. It looks like, as you know, as the years are progressing, the accuracy is actually improving. So let's look at the newest of the pellets then. Get this over this base of this holder here. So look there, that's definitely 10mm centre to centre. This here, I mean, if you hadn't seen it on the video, you wouldn't have believed. I mean, that is the epitome of pellets through the same hole. That's 3 pellets through that same hole, and that is a, you know, you can't, it looks just like there's 1 pellet through there. So that's easily 10mm, probably. Well, that's 5mm group, isn't it? 10mm there, 10mm, 10mm. So I would suggest that there's not much in it between the 22 and the 23. From the accuracy point of view, we can make the, you know, just on this rough and ready test, I think we can safely say that the accuracy of these JSB Exact pellets, specifically, well, through my Wolverine and the barrel and the Wolverine, has improved as the years have gone on. Certainly you can see here there's significant improvement in the groups as we've gone on, and the 2022 and the 2023 pellets are the best of the groups. And I would go so far as to say that, well, I know it's a difficult one, really. It depends, you know. Let's go through these again. So we've got a 10, a 10, a 10, a 10, a 10. The only group that really lets this down, I've got a flyer here, which and I've got another flyer there, 2 pellets there. Could be, you could say that's me. I would put yeah, I think I would say that the 23s are slightly better than the 22s. There's not much in it. Let's have a look at this last line that I did when I did the 2015s again, just to see whether it was me. And as you can see, I mean, we got a good group in there. We got a good group in there, but these are all still 15s, and this one opened out. That's a 20. So yeah, I think I'm confident to say that in this test that I did, you know, say what you like about the test. I mean, it was outside in, you know, open air conditions at 35 yards. From what I'm seeing here, the accuracy has definitely improved between the 2015 and the 2023 pellets, and the newer pellets are, you know, quite significantly more accurate and more consistent in their groupings on this target, I think, even though there's not much in it. I mean, we're quibbling between, you know, 15mm groups and 10mm groups, so, you know, it's pretty good. So there you go then. Let's wrap this one up. So there we go then. What have we discovered? Well, first off, that all the tins in my test are all clean, no debris in them. Couldn't find any foreign pellets in any of the tins, and no significant deformity. So we'll bust that one. The weights, the average weight through the samples that I took were pretty consistent. One thing that did come out, you know, that I found on my test, it might just be a peculiarity in the pellets that I tested, but it would seem that there's a greater range of weights in the tins of pellets, a greater spread of weights in the newer tins. That showed up. Looking at the pellet sizes themselves, there's obviously been small, very small changes to the outside of the pellet, the outside dimensions. Some of them, the lengths or the heights have gone up and down in small increments. But the most significant thing is the internals. Obviously, the size of the hole is going to affect how the skirt expands into the rifling. So they've clearly been experimenting with the different shapes to see if that improves things. what was significant is the distinct difference between the 2023 pellets and the 2022 pellets as regard in that regard, and that seems to have made a little bit of a difference on the accuracy when we looked at the target. I'll have to buy some 2024 pellets and see whether perhaps if you've got some 2024 pellets, have a look and inside, and let me know in the comments if the hole in the skirt is the same format as the 2023. I'd like to know whether they kept with that, stayed with that, or whether they've changed them. I'll have to get myself a tin and check that out. But if you've got some 2024s, have a look and let me know whether that's the case in the comments. And then we get to the target never lies. We get to the accuracy, and I think we see, although throughout the years, I don't think anybody would be disappointed with any of those groups at 35 yards outside in the wind. But, from what I could see from my shooting, not a fully scientific test, obviously, because, you could see from the video that, the reticle's moving around a little bit. So possibly could have shot it better. But it seemed to suggest that the newer pellets have the edge as far as accuracy is concerned. So I'm still quite happy to carry on using JSB Exacts as my go-to pellet. There's been nothing in this test that has convinced me that that I'm wasting my time paying the premium price for these. But don't take my word for it. Do the testing, do some testing yourself. Always say on here, look, the evidence is in front of you, totally transparent. I'm showing you exactly what I found. If you want to interpret that differently, then that's great. But don't take my word for it. Do the testing yourself. And first and foremost as well, don't believe everything that you read on the forums or what other people are telling you. Make your own decisions and do your own testing. Find out what works for you. So that's it for this one. Hope you found that interesting, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.